Wait, where am I? Is this a dream? Who's there? Show yourself.
Hello, Dante. My name is Virgil. I have been sent to you by the god of gaming. He commanded me to come to you and to show you the gaming hell.
So, what is the gaming hell? How come a game can get judged and go to hell if they are not alive to begin with?
It's a bit more complicated than that. Games are made out of two components, the body and the soul. The body is made up of things like code optimization, aesthetic quality, and other things of the sort. The soul, however, is much more mysterious and nearly impossible to describe. It's a game's identity, what makes it unique. Every game in existence has both of these elements, but to what extent depends on the game. I am here to show you how a game ends up in hell.
Out of all the things to engrave in the gates of hell, why this?
There are many different games here for many different reasons, yet they all have something in common.
None of them are truly loved.
Exactly. Some of them seem like they are loved, but it's all sycophancy.
Wait, these games are not really that bad. They're just kind of, middle of the road.
Precisely. This is Limbo. Games here are not bad by any means. The quality may vary, but overall their main problem is that they are forgettable, and hence not loved. Try talking to that one.
Atomic Heart? I remember you. You were a fun game. Do you remember my story? Oh, sure, but what was it about? Okay then. Did you like the gameplay? Oh, it wasn't so bad. I mean, it worked fine. Precisely. You don't remember anything meaningful about me. You remember the appeal, the art style, the alternate history, the sci-fi tech, the hot robot women. And those were all great. But I couldn't live up to it. Both my body and soul weren't quite strong enough. I needed too much storage space. I ran poorly and felt clunky. I also was so generic that, as you showed, no one remembered my story or characters.
Me too, old friend.
You are here as well, I see.
Indeed. Do you still remember what haunts me?
Yes, I pity you immensely. Your body is strong, yet your soul is far too weak. Out of all the games I've played, you are one of the biggest disappointments to me. You're so close to greatness, yet it seems you can never quite reach it.
Do you understand the pattern, Dante?
Yes, but it is a shame to see them here. They have so much potential, and truly I do not harbor hatred towards them. In fact, I got really excited for the sequel to Atomic Heart. It looked promising. Should I not feel hatred for these games since they are in hell?
No, Dante, there is no need. These games do not deserve hatred, just pity, for they are not rotten to their core. In fact, they are the inspirations that may allow other games to become better. For example, your excitement for the sequel may not be unfounded. If the developers truly love the first game, then the sequel has a much better chance to become good.
What now?
We head deeper, to the circles where the games truly deserve hate. Behold and weep, Dante. This is the circle of idiocy. Here lie the remakes, unfaithful adaptations, and misinterpretations, forever doomed to chip away at their soul and body in the hopes of becoming greater than the original, getting more and more deformed the more they try.
I see a few familiar faces. Dead Space, Resident Evil 4, Epic Mickey Rebrushed. Are all remakes here? There's gotta be at least a few that aren't so bad.
Yes, there are, but you are missing the point. All these remakes are derived from already amazing games, which in a way undermines the original by at best saying, your art style is wrong, and at worst, adding unnecessary mechanics and game design elements.
Yeah, I never really understood why the Resident Evil 4 remake added the crafting system or the multiple currencies, or even just increased the number of side quests by such a steep amount. Even something as simple as the yellow paint felt completely unneeded. I played the original and I always knew what I could and couldn't break.
Precisely. Even if some claim that a remake is better than the original, they are missing the point. The mere fact that the original versus remake debate is so prevalent and more often than not doesn't even touch the "it came first" argument, shows that they are nearly identical. But if one had to be made from scratch, and one had the original as a blueprint for game design, mechanics, plot beats, music, aesthetics, and so on, and it's still only around the same level of quality as its predecessor, is it really that much of a stretch to say that a remake lacks a soul?
I don't really have a good answer, but let me talk to some of the games here. Maybe they can give me a different perspective.
No thanks, bro. Bingo?
Don't bother, Dante. These games are so obsessed with surpassing and replacing the original that they can't see anything beyond their own hubris. They are stuck in a permanent loop of self-mutilation where they claim that the original is outdated or not up to standard, not realizing those flaws are what made it special.
You know, perhaps you were right. They could have ported the original to modern hardware. That would have saved money, time, and made old fans happy. Now, new people will come along and get a completely wrong idea of the franchise. The devs take out elements that might seem irrelevant, but are actually extremely important to the identity of the game. At some point, is it even the same game? It just seems so...
Idiotic? Yes, I know. And it only gets more horrible from here.
What are they doing?
This is avarice at its finest. Not only do these games want to go to heaven, they wish to be the only game there.
That doesn't even make sense. How do you gauge which one is the best?
They are not concerned with best. In their eyes, only profit matters. When gamers aren't playing one game,
They are playing another, meaning one of the games is losing profit.
precisely. Every time they die, they try to imitate the game that killed them. Their rationale is that if a game was stronger, then they must do what it did, but better.
Wouldn't that just erase their identity and drive gamers away? Even if a game does it better than the one that killed it, at its core, it's not built for that change, meaning it's just destroying itself.
That's the problem. Instead of trying to understand how they can improve their own soul and body, they just see what works, even if just for a week, and copy it mindlessly. Let me show you what I mean.
Where are we?
A dark place of rejuvenation. As the games in hell cannot die, those who are slain in the never-ending war must be reborn. It is here that they return to their punishment.
These shards, what are they?
A game can't just add whatever it wants without consequences. Even the dumbest ones somewhat realize this. So it removes a part of itself in order to gain a new feature, and that discarded piece just stays here until...
I don't understand. Does this help them at all? Do they get more players?
Not at all. They think they do, but it's just a short burst because people see new update and immediately jump back into the game out of a sense of either hope, or more likely, delusion. But little by little the players leave, searching for a better game, and since all these games are converging to essentially the same broken mess, none of them will be picked.
Unless you are Nintendo, apparently, because Jesus Christ, their fans are the definition of Stockholm Syndrome. I get it's your childhood, and that the games are simple fun, but at some point you have to admit enough is enough. You keep saying, this is the last one I'll buy, and then you buy the new one either way. I don't even know why you're confused or surprised at the lower quality of the games and consoles at this point. It's not rocket science. If you keep buying the slop, they'll keep making the slop. They'll just think, oh, we can just lower our standards, they'll buy it anyway. I had to mention this because it's the only exception to the aforementioned example I could think of.
Are you feeling alright, Dante?
It hurts, you know? Seeing them fight, that is. Every form of art should inspire more art. It's a free market of ideas, after all. Constructive, not destructive. Yet here they are, so desperate for attention and sales and whatever they designate as victory, that they lose all their qualities. Truly shameful.
Shall we continue?
Yes. I must know what lies ahead. But these games all sold well. Should they really be here?
It is not so simple, Dante. A game can sell a lot, but that does not make it good. The same way a priest can end up in hell, a game with power can reside here.
What's their sin?
Dante called to prosecution.
It's a false feeling, a false rationalization of something that isn't there. Media literacy. The reason it always feels disconnected, the reason they always look for the irrelevant details, the reason they always try to justify everything and anything into some secret meaning, is because the essayists desire to be profound in ways men were not profound in before, even if it means lying about what is or isn't in a game. They want everyone and everything to think like them, to justify their own false greatness.
So it's just critical literacy. Instead of looking at the game for what it has to offer, how it works, and what it is, you just put whatever meaning you want in it and do some backwards logic to try to find it. I don't need you to tell me what comes next. I know what comes next. It's what happens to these people when they get power. Instead of making a good game, instead of making a good story, instead of making good gameplay, they just decide to focus on the message, and everything else comes second. We're looking at the DEI games, aren't we?
This is the final circle, Dante. It's where the most vile games reside. Games created out of genuine hatred and spite for the very...
Virgil? You there, man?
I don't understand why you don't just give up!
And who are you?
I am the rightful creator of all these wonderful games!
Oh, I know who you are.
Why do you care about this?
Excuse me?
These are just silly little distractions! They don't matter to your life! They don't truly affect you!
Then why are you altering existing franchises? If that's the case, then just let us keep things as they are. It wouldn't affect you.
Because your ideas are toxic! You filth are just children who refuse to grow up! And it's up to me to correct that!
So it does have an impact.
Well, obviously, art shapes us. All art is political.
Okay, then you are getting into the gaming industry just to destroy it and replace it with your ideals?
Yes!
So you hate gaming?
Of course not, you idiot! I'm more of a gamer than you'll ever be!
But you just said you wanted to destroy the entire industry and replace it with your ideals. How can you be a gamer, or even just like games, if you are against all that it stands for?
Now you're strong-running me! All I said was yes as a response to you asking that!
Okay? Can you answer the question?
What question?
How can you be a gamer if you want to destroy gaming?
Because I've played games before!
Did you like them?
Of course I did, you ignorant swine!
Okay, I guess that's less bad.
I hated the gameplay, the graphics, the plot, the difficulty, and the character design was just fucking counterbait! But the stories were good.
So you like games, despite the fact they are games.
That's stupid! Games are more than just those components!
Not really.
This is why I don't like your fucking ilk! The fucking media illiterate!
If it's a matter of media literacy, then why do you ruin games like COD with pointless collabs?
What could Call of Duty possibly be about?
A realistic depiction of the horrors of war and how it affects people?
Don't be silly! You're looking too deep into this because of your nostalgia! It's just a silly game for kids! These collabs just attract more of them! Though they shouldn't be playing it! Too violent! Too much toxic masculinity!
The game's PEGI 18.
Eh?
You know, rated M for mature?
Oh, yes! The SRB system! Some of my best work!
If you made it, then why are you blaming the game? It's made for adults by your own designation and rules.
Yeah, but it's too risky.
The warning is not easy to miss. Quite the opposite. So wouldn't it be the parents' fault the kid's playing an adult game?
You can never be too sure.
So you're saying the system failed? If you put the system to avoid that situation and there's still kids, then it obviously didn't work. In fact, you put the SRB system in place, yet the game still appealed to children, which means you are appealing to kids while at the same time telling them to go away.
I need money to survive, okay?
Yeah, because that's going so well for you.
Oh, shut up! I'm in power! I don't even know why I'm wasting time with you!
You know what? You're right.
See? I told you!
I am wasting my time. I can try to explain to you why you're wrong for all eternity, but you clearly don't care. You don't like games, you're not a gamer, so why should I treat you like one? You know, I've been feigning ignorance this whole time, pretending like I didn't know what was going on, because I had hoped you were worth saving. But I had forgotten one thing. You're the devil, and being blinded by sin, the only want you have is to bring everything else down to your level. You're not worth the words.